Okay, so I have started the recording. Okay, in this session, you learn about, Dart functions, how to define, reusable functions. Okay, so let me type it in here, functions that we are learning. Okay, so function is basically a code block. Okay, function, uh, it's a code block. All right, that performs task. Okay. So function basically it's a code block that performs a task. So you often need actually to perform same task multiple times. Okay. In programming, actually you need uh, some code blocks to perform the same task multiple times. So you don't want to like copy and paste the code all over places in the program, you know, and in order to avoid that, you wrap up the code, you know, in a function. So what you do, let's say five statements code is there, okay? So five statements are there, and you need it repeatedly in your program. Let's say five times you need these codes. So basically, five times you do copy paste, what's going to happen is that it's going to have five times these codes. So it's a five statement code. So it's going to be 5 into 5, 25. So 25 times, so 25 lines of code, it has been added to your program. So what is better, that you wrap the code, okay? Like these five statements are there. So let's say, you know, you want to do print statement, okay? So this print hello, is there, and you want to do this five times. So what you do, you wrap up this code in a code block. Okay, so you name this code block. Okay, this curly brackets define the scope. So basically what you're doing, you're defining the scope and you're naming this as a function. Okay, like you're saying this is a function and I'm giving a name like show. Okay, so, and you can call this function as many times as you want. Okay, like I want show function. You just call it after, after few lines of code, you need this function, you call it again. Okay, so basically, you learn how to use print function. What it does basically, it display, value or message to the screen. So when you call the print function, Dart executes the code inside the print function internally. Okay, so print it's a library function. It's not that you have written this code. Okay, this function it's not that you have defined it. It's actually inbuilt function. So what is happening? You're calling that print function, and that executes the code inside this print function internally. Okay, so it's a good practice, that you want to use functions, to divide a program into smaller and more manageable parts. Okay, so you know each function is a small. Okay, so that you can build the test and maintain the code. Okay. All right, so now see how to define a function. Okay, so how to define a function? Just now I gave you a clear idea how you can write a function. So basically, function it performs okay, specific task. Okay, and you need that task multiple times to be executed. Then you call that function multiple places. Okay, like this. All right, so let's define a function. Okay, let's get rid of these codes. Okay, so how to define a function? So it's like this. Okay, function has two parts. It's first it's a signature. Signature means like a function does return something. Okay, and what you want to do here, you want to let's say display message. Okay, so what message that you want to display? So I'll say print welcome to functions. Okay, and in here so this is the function part. So function has two parts. First, it's a function signature, like what it returns okay, and what it like what are the parameters, okay. So like function has, function receives values also, okay. Function receives value, what it receives and returns, okay, what it receives that you define or returns. Okay, so that's function signature. Okay, so before you calling the function, you should know what you need to give the function values. Okay, and what you get it from the function. Let's say, you are a function. Okay, and what okay, what your name is, let's say Nilesh. Okay, so Nilesh is a function. All I know that Nilesh knows how to perform addition. Okay, so and I should know that Nilesh needs input. Okay, like numbers, like two numbers. Okay, Nilesh needs two numbers, Nilesh needs three numbers. Okay, so I need to know about the function, that is function signature. So function signature is that Nilesh needs two values. Okay, so that means Nilesh function needs two parameters. Okay, and Nilesh returns me result. Okay, so that is Nilesh giving me value back. Okay, that is the result. So function returning a value, okay, and function receives value. Okay, so that if we know, then it's clear that we can call the function. Okay, but we should also know that what function does. So function has body. Okay, so it's like, function signature has a return type. Okay, okay, that defines, and what it returns. Okay, if function doesn't return anything, okay, then what we do, we use void. Okay, so void meaning return we don't return anything. Okay, that is function doesn't return anything. So let me put it this way. Okay, and in this one, like let's say void display function, in that case you can see in here void actually, returns nothing. Okay, so function basically has a name. Okay, you can give any name you want. Okay, but it should not be a keyword. Okay, so you can, use camel case notations. Let's say if it's a two word. Okay, let's say my function, it's a my function, my display. So in this one you can notice in here that I'm using camel case notation styles. In this one, my word is there, all lowercase. Another word is there, display, and its first letter is capital. Okay, this is called camel case. Okay, so in this one, if you have another function, my display new. So in this one, you can see another word new is there, but how did I write it? In a first letter capital. All the words, okay, after the first word, the first letter will be capital. Okay, but the first word, it will be all in lowercase. Okay, so this is called, you know, camel case notations. Okay, so parameters are inside this function. Okay, your parameters are the inputs to the function. Okay, function needs input. Okay, like I said, Nilesh is the function. So in that case, if Nilesh is the function, okay, then Nilesh needs some values, like Nilesh can store values in X and Y. So if I don't provide Nilesh values, Nilesh cannot perform addition operation. Nilesh knows how to perform addition on the values that we send. Okay, and Nilesh can give us a result, okay, like returns the X plus Y. So it's better we put it in Z and then we return the Z value. So basically what we are doing here, that once we give the value to Nilesh, any two values, okay, so how do we supply these values? So in order to supply the values, you need to know the name of the function. So name of the function is Nilesh, and we need to pass on the values. So here we are passing two values. So first value that you see, it's a comma separated values. First we pass the value 10 and second we pass the value 20. So the ordering of this value, it's very important. Okay, first value is getting copied in X, second value it's getting copied in Y. Okay, now X and Y, it's only known inside this function. See, it is only known for this function. Outside this function, you cannot use this X and Y. Hence, we are using this X and Y. Inside this function, we are performing addition. So when you do X plus Y, you're doing nothing but 10 plus 20. Why? Because 10 is copied in X and 20 is getting copied in Y. So X plus Y means 10 plus 20. So you put the result in Z and it's returning z. So once see here you're returning z means your this function is going to give us something. So we need to put it somewhere. Okay, like we need to put it in, let's say, answer. Okay, later on you can print this answer. Okay, so after calling the function village, okay, it gives me the passing these two values 10 20, it gives me the answer. Answer is the addition of this 10 and 20. I don't know how this addition is performed. Only village function knows how it performs, but I know that village needs two values only, and I know that it returns me the value. Only this much user has to know. So sometimes these functions are not created by developers. Okay, it's not created by you. Sorry, it's created by third-party developers. Okay, so in that case, you need to only know that this is the function. After giving these values, it gives me this result, and after then you worry about printing this result. Okay, so I'm printing this. Okay, so this is how function works basically. Okay, so in this one, now you understand that how function works. Okay, so function has a name. Okay, and parameters are the inputs of the function. So let me put it here. Okay, so parameters are the inputs of the function. So in this one, what are the inputs x and y? Okay, these are parameters. Now what do you call these? 10 and 20. These are arguments. Okay, when you calling function, when you pass data values, okay, these are arguments, and the values are received, okay, into x and y. So these are the parameters. Okay, and parameters are the inputs of the functions. Okay, all right. All right, so parameters are always mentioned inside this parenthesis. Okay, so all right, so function, this function, display function, it doesn't have any parameter in here. That's why it's empty. Okay, there's nothing inside this parenthesis. You can keep the parenthesis empty if the function, let's say, doesn't receive any values. Okay, all right. So let's discuss about the function body. Okay, so the function body is this. Okay, this one. And for display function, this is the function body. Okay, so what is function body then? The code with the surrounded by the curly braces. You see, this is the curly braces. Okay, surrounded by the code surrounded by these curly braces. Okay, and that follows the function name. Okay, is the function body. Okay, which has the function name. Okay, which has curly braces. Okay, and then here you have this code. Okay, inside this curly braces. All right. So the function body receives, actually function body has more than one or more than one statement. Okay, so it consists one or more statements that perform specific task. Okay, so let me tell you, it performs, function body performs specific task. Okay, specific task. So in this one, you see that the display function, its job is to display, welcome message. So when you call this function, it will always show you this message that hello and welcome. Okay, so let's see how to call a function. Okay, calling function. So once you define a function, it's no use if you don't call it. Okay, so let me just delete this one and paste it in here. See, void display is the function I have written, but I'm not calling this function, and it's of no use. Okay, so calling function, you can call it when you call a function. Dot say dot will execute the code inside the function only when it is getting executed when you call it. Okay, so to call a function, you specify the function name first. Okay, like this, you specify the name of the function. Okay, and provide the parameters if there are. Okay, if here let's say parameters are there, you need to pass two values in here. Okay, like 1 comma 2. If there are no parameters, then you don't pass values. Okay, I hope you understand. So how do you call this one now? You don't call like this. You need a void main function for this. Okay. So main function is also function, but it's the entry point of the program. You don't change this name of the function. Okay. Okay, so let me just align the code. Okay, so make sure that all the codes are in comments, the rest of the code. Okay, and let's run this code now. Okay, and if I run this code, I should get message welcome to functions. Okay, so now how to pass this information to the function? Okay, let's say display function is there. Okay, and display function, I want to pass the information to the display function. Like say, welcome Nilesh and Nain to functions. Okay, so how can I display Nilesh name, Nain name in this one? Okay, so in that case, you need here parameters. Okay, let's say I want to use here string name. I want to display this. Okay, I want to say hi Nilesh. Okay, so in order to do that, I need to change this message now. Okay, I want to say hi and dollar, you know, name. Okay, and this is a variable. Okay, dollar name. Okay, currently we don't know what is inside this name variable. Okay, so we don't know what will be the output. Okay, so at the time when we call this function, that time we are going to send the values. Okay, name of the person. So name here, it is the parameter. Okay, for the display function. So inside this function, you can use, name parameter as a variable. So this, we have declared here. Okay. So, here see it's giving us warning message that it says, display function needs one value and you're not sending anything, So I think we need to pass on the, here name relation. Okay. So you can access this name parameter only within the body of the display function. It's not like that you can use name variable in here in function. Why not? Why can't I use this name variable here in main function? Why? It's because it's a two different scope. Display function, it's a different scope. This void main, it's a different scope. It's like two different countries. Let's say this is a Japan country and this is India country. Okay, now you are a citizen of this country. Okay, you have citizenship of for this country. Okay, so you can really, you can have, access to the facilities of both countries. Okay, citizenship for the both countries. So that means name, you can use it in here, but you cannot use it in here in main function. It's like, two different countries, two different rules, two different scopes. Okay, so it's like that. Okay, so outside this function, name variable cannot be used. Okay, and that's why we have here defined boundaries. Okay, this is the end of this function. Outside this, sorry, you cannot use this name function. All right, so that's why this is illegal. Okay, all right. So you can access this name property inside the function only, the body of this display function. Okay, not the outside. All right. So when calling function, okay, when you are calling function, you need a value. You need to pass a value. This is called value. Okay, this is argument. Let me be clear. This nilage, it's a not a parameter. Most of the developers, thinks that these are the parameters. No, these are arguments. Okay, because these are values. Okay, all right. So when calling function with this, value, okay, corresponds to the parameter. Okay, corresponds to the parameter means what? This value is getting copied in this name variable. Okay, ordering has to be there. Right now we don't have to worry about this ordering as in because yes, so there's only one parameter. Okay, we don't need to worry about it. So if we run this program, okay, okay. See, if we run this program, we are going to say hi Nilesh. Okay, so in this one, see hi Nilesh. If we change it to Nina, okay, then the value that you pass it into a function, okay, it's called the argument. So let's type it in here. What is argument? Arguments means the value that you pass into a function. Okay, that's called arguments. So here the value is, argument is Nina. Let's run this one. All right. So here you can see. It's not like you can directly pass the value. If suppose this value is already variable, okay? Let's say we have string variable here, okay? So we can have x variable in here. We can put it in, value Nina, we give it to, this x variable, and we can pass this x variable, okay? So what is happening in here, value of x is getting copied in name variable, okay? So here x is sharing its value with name, okay? So Nina is copied into name and variable, and that's why you see here hi Nina, okay? See, so this is also allowed, okay? In this one, what we have done, actually we have stored this value inside the variable, okay? And next, the point is, parameters and arguments, okay? We have seen, parameters are arguments actually, okay? We need to, distinguish, these parameters and arguments. So parameters, it's a variable generally, okay? If you are getting confused, what is parameter, what is variable? Okay, variable which has, data type, okay, defined there, okay, or you can use these variables in order to specify the function signature, okay. So parameter is basically a variable that you specify in the function signature. So when you define the function, okay, so for example this display function has name variable, okay. So this is also called name parameter, okay. So argument, it's a value basically that you pass into the function at the time you're calling it, okay. So for example, here in Nina is the value, okay, and it is the function argument, okay. So that's it. And after then, returning value. So function also returns value, like sometimes, what happens that Nilesh performs addition, that's really good. Okay, any function that performs a specific task, that's appreciated. But sometimes the function, doesn't give us the formatted output that we don't like it. Okay, everyone greets differently, there's a different way. Okay, so that's why function should not supposed to print the output. Function should supposed to, you know, let's say function should supposed to only perform the operation, and it should give us result back. Okay, like how? Let's say there is an addition function. Okay, so let me just create a one more function here. Okay, so in this case, what should happen is that we should first we understand this part. Okay, instead of printing here, hi Rina, what we do is we comment this part. Okay, or let me just keep this function as is, create a copy of it, and then you know we comment this one. Okay, in here we just uncomment the complete code. Okay, and make it a multi-line comment here. Okay. All right. So now see in here, we don't print it. We rather return the value. Okay. So we are returning what? We are returning string, isn't it? So we are returning string here. Okay. So this should be, the type here. Okay. String. Okay. So basically, see what is happening. We are returning this hi Nina message. We are not printing in display function. Display function says it's not my duty to print this. Okay. I would rather prefer to give this string to you, and you do whatever you want to do with this string. Okay. So that's why I am getting this, string into answer variable. Answer is of type string. Why it's type of string? Because this function is returning string. You know, that's why I need. Okay, do you have a screen?
Yes.
Okay. See here
Yes,
what is happening is string answer. So here function is basically returning a string. Okay, returning a string. So that's why this function return type is string, and it's giving us the value back. Okay, and it's not doing printing job. Okay, so we need to print it here. So that's why I'm writing here print and answer. Okay, that's why I'm printing here. So here I'm going print answer. So let's print it. Okay, so it should say hi Nina. Okay, we are getting the same result. The only thing is that this time function is not doing printing job. Okay, all right. I hope you understand this part. All right. So in this one, what we do now is that if you don't want to catch this into a variable, okay? So let's say another time I'm going to print this, but this time, see, I'm not getting the return value of display in a display function. I'm sending hi, let's say Rahul, okay? So see, I'm passing Rahul message, okay, argument, and I'm immediately printing this, okay, inside. So here there's a no variable required to get the value. Directly it is submitted to the print function. We're still getting the result. Okay, all right. So now what do we do? Okay, so you can combine we can pass multiple strings also. Okay, let's say we have another display function. Okay, let's comment this one. Okay, and let's have like first name, last name. Okay, or we can say here first name and last name will be. Okay, so F name will be the first name, and string L name will be the last name. So we want to say with the like hello and first name and the last name. So here we'll print F name and then give space $L name. Okay, okay. So what we doing here? Okay. So here what we do is basically we are returning the value, okay, but we don't want to return in here. First we'll try to print it, okay. So let's print two values, okay, and we pass now. Okay, let's comment this part and so we do call the display function, pass here, it's a John, and we can say bus, okay. So we here give semicolon. Okay, so when I run this one, they should say hi John Obasa. Okay, we forgot semicolon somewhere. String that's written. Okay, this string should not, this return type should be void. Okay, it's not returning anything. All right. See, it's showing us hi John Obasa. Okay. All right. So this is what you can do with the functions. Okay. So multiple parameters you can send in here. Okay. So like first name, last name, I'm sending in here and I'm printing the output. Okay. All right. So you can say there are different greetings. Sometimes we say uh, hello, Dr. John. Okay. We can say hello, Professor Jane. Okay. Hello, Professor Rahul. Okay, like that we can print. Okay, so here this display function has two parameters, name and last name, first name and last name. Okay, and we separate these parameters using comma. Okay, when you call the function. Okay, when you call the function. Okay, you need to specify these two values. Okay, and this is also comma separated. Okay, so each value like this John will be copied into F name, and Mubasser is it is copied into L name. So likewise you can create addition of two numbers program. So let me help you with that. We'll create one simple program from the start. Okay, main function will be the addition. Okay, and we perform addition of two numbers together. So using function. So let's see it quickly. So you create a function like add. Okay, you don't know how to write it. Just create a simple structure subtraction. Okay, then it's a multiplication. Okay, just we are creating empty functions. Okay, just the body of the functions we will write it later on. Okay, division. All right, I think this is enough. And now let's define the values in here. Int x comma int y. Okay, these are the parameters. Okay, so here you just copy it into subtraction, multiplication, and division. Let's say you want to return the value, you can do that. Return x plus y. Okay, but the type is return. There is no return type integer here. Okay, because this x is integer, y is integer. It should return integer value. In that case, you should write integer here. Okay, then it is okay. Okay, so now what we do? Okay, we'll return this integer. If we don't return it in here, we just say print x minus y. Okay, so instead of that, we get we store the answer. In here we write x minus y. Okay, similarly you can do that and you can print it here result. Okay, so print answer. Okay, and then you can copy this for multiplication and for division. Okay, let's align the code. It doesn't look nice if it's not aligned perfectly. Okay, and you should have this habit. Okay, and now we write the main function. Okay, and now we call the add function. Okay, now you see here add function is giving us value back. It's not printing, it's giving us integer value. So we need one integer variable here. Okay, integer answer. Okay, answer is already here. You must be, you will be getting confused. Okay, why we are having answer again in here? You must think it is same. Actually, it's different. Even though we use answer here, it's a different variable. Let's not use it. Okay, so let's say integer y is equal to you call the function addition. It needs two values, so we can pass 5 and 7. Okay, and then we print. So when function returns value, no, it is the responsibility of the main function to print that value. So that's why we are writing print statement in the main function. So we say here that addition is $y. All right, so here we provide semicolon. Before writing any further code, you have to make sure all things works okay. All right. So, you should have this practice, okay? You don't even have to write all these three functions, okay? Only when you're confident, okay, then only you go for writing all other functions. First, you need to run this code to make sure there is nothing wrong in here, okay? So, you get the output addition is let's say 12. Okay, you're getting the answer. That's fine. Now you need these print statements. Okay, in all other functions. Let's say in subtraction, you need this. Okay, instead of addition, you say subtraction is, and here you have to say answer. Okay, and similarly, you copy this into multiplication and division. So here you say multiplication is, and here you go, answer is there already. Here you say division is, and division is there. So only see, you have to change the sign in here. Okay, most of the time when we do copy paste now, we forget to change here signs. Okay, so operator will be same as like in all the functions, and you get different results, and you'll be worried then, okay, why I don't get the same result. So in this one, what does it say? It needs to be double. Okay, we say here double. All right. Okay, now what we do? So here, our job is to call these functions now. Okay, now you don't need to see these functions are not giving us any value, so you don't need to, catch the return value into any other variable. You just have to, call these functions. So let's say I'm passing, 4 comma 2. Okay, and then I'm calling here multiplication. It's 5 7. Okay, and then division, I'm giving here let's say 9 comma Okay, let's say 13 comma 3 or 4. Let's say 5. Okay, so let's call this function. Let's run this program. Okay, and let's see what is the result that you have. See, I get addition is 12, subtraction is 2, multiplication is 35, and division is 2.6. If you want to print the values also, like addition of this 4 and 2 is, so in that case, what you have to do, addition of, you know, here I don't have the variables in here, okay? So, in order to do that, I need here A is equal to 5 and B is equal to 7. Okay, then I pass here variables A and B, and here I need dollar $A and dollar $B. Okay, is so similarly you have to do the same thing. Okay, for subtraction of here we have to use X and Y. Okay, so I'll be copying this, okay, and quickly paste this. Okay, here I'll be copying it, and multiplication of X and Y and division of X and Y is okay. Now that's okay. Let's run the program now. See, now here we know that addition of 5 and 7 is 12. We can cross check it. User should know, okay, how the addition is performed. So 4 minus 2 is 2. Multiplication of 5 and 7 is, 35, and it's a 2.6. Okay, so let's summarize this. Okay, what is function? So function is a reusable unit of code, okay, that performs one task and it may return a value. Function consists of a function. Function consists like function signature and its body. So this is the function signature and this is the function body. Okay, function can have 0 or more parameters. It's not necessary you have to have parameters in here. You use the void when function doesn't return anything. You use the function, if function is returning integer value, use return type as integer. Okay, so return statement you use it here. Okay, return statement to return a value from a function. So that's it. Okay, that's all for today's session. We have seen function in detail. Okay, all right. So see you in the next session. Have a nice day. Bye bye.